Have you ever felt like your emotions were too much? That your joy was too loud, your sadness too deep? Imagine a world where those feelings could literally reshape the landscape around you. Welcome to Kaleidos, a planet painted with feeling. Here the mountains aren't made of rock, but of crystalline silicon that blushes with affection, deepens to the crimson of passion, or cools to the indigo of sorrow. They mirror the collective heart of the Kaleidons, a species of sentient, translucent beings who shimmer with the internal light of their own emotions. Even the trees and flowers are crystalline, constantly shifting their shapes in response to the psychic hum of the world. It's a symphony of color and form, where even the wildlife, like birds that sing in harmonies of joy, contributes to the planet's vibrant emotional tapestry. In this world of controlled, harmonious feelings lived an artisan named Lyra. But Lyra was different. She was an outcast. While her people practiced emotional temperance to maintain their world's delicate balance, Lyra's feelings were a tempest. Her joy could cause the crystals around her to erupt in chaotic, uncontrolled growth. Her sorrow could make them fracture and crumble into dust. Fearing the chaos she could cause, she lived in self-imposed exile at the edge of her city. Her only companions were the raw, unsentient crystals she tried to shape with her turbulent emotions, a practice that was both her art and her therapy, a way to channel the storm within. Then silence fell. From the void came the Chroma-Plague, a silent, insidious invasion. It wasn't a physical enemy, but a hive-mind of psychic parasites that fed on emotion. They descended upon Kaleidos like a swarm of locusts, not consuming flesh, but draining the very lifeblood of the planet, its feelings. The vibrant landscapes faded to a uniform, lifeless gray. The crystalline trees stood frozen, the mountains lost their blush. The Kaleidons themselves, their emotions leached away, became listless, static statues, their once shimmering bodies now dull and opaque. The world, once a symphony of color and form, was falling silent. The vibrant heart of Kaleidos was flatlining. Even in her isolation, Lyra felt the encroaching emptiness. The silence was a suffocating void, a stark contrast to the hurricane of feeling she'd always carried within her. It threatened to consume her, to extinguish the very essence of who she was. As the gray despair crept closer, a desperate defiance ignited within her. In that moment, she decided to do the one thing she had been told her entire life not to do. She let go. She stopped fighting the storm inside and instead embraced it. She focused all her love for her vibrant world, all her grief for its fading beauty, and all her white-hot fury at the violation it was suffering. She gathered every ounce of feeling she possessed and pushed it outwards. A raw, untamed power erupted from her, a tidal wave of pure, vibrant color that blasted through the encroaching gray. The crystals around her exploded into a dazzling aurora of light and form. In that moment of absolute emotional release, she wasn't just Lyra the outcast anymore. She had become a living beacon of feeling in a dying world. She was the Empath of Kaleidos. Now a being of pure emotional energy, a living nexus of feeling, Lyra confronted the heart of the Chroma-Plague. The hive-mind, a monstrous consciousness of insatiable hunger, immediately turned its attention to this new, overwhelming source of sustenance. It saw her as the ultimate feast. But as it lunged, trying to consume her vast reserves of emotion, Lyra didn't fight back with anger or fear. Instead, she flooded the parasitic consciousness with the one feeling it was completely unprepared for, the one emotion it could not process, pure, unconditional love. Love is an emotion of creation, not consumption. It is about giving, not taking. For a consciousness built entirely on a foundation of parasitic hunger, this selfless, creative force was a fatal paradox. It was like trying to fill a black hole with sunlight. The alien mind, unable to comprehend or absorb this pure energy, began to overload. It fractured, it dissipated, it simply ceased to be, its psychic scream echoing into nothingness. The grey fog lifted, and across the planet the colours slowly, tentatively, began to return. In the aftermath, the world began to heal. The mountains blushed a faint pink, the crystal trees began to reform, and the Kaleidons stirred, feeling the first sparks of emotion returning to their dulled forms. Lyra, the outcast whose power they had once feared, was now hailed as their savior. The very thing that had made her an outcast had become their salvation. But as the familiar colors of home bloomed around her, a new sensation entered Lyra's mind. It was a faint, cosmic melody, a psychic song carried on the solar winds. It was a call from beyond the stars, a vision of a gathering storm, a warning of other worlds facing their own darkness. With a heavy heart, but a newfound resolve, Lyra knew she couldn't stay. Her world was safe, but others were not. Her journey hadn't ended, it had just begun. She was no longer just a Kaleidon artisan, she was a champion for the cosmos, a guardian of feeling. And so, the Empath of Kaleidos set her sights on the stars, ready to journey into the unknown, following the siren song that called her to her new purpose. What an incredible journey of self-acceptance and power. Lyra's story reminds us that sometimes the very things that make us feel different are our greatest strengths. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more tales from across the cosmos. We'll see you in the next one.